I know what you're thinking, she's wearing mini ears again, which can only mean one thing. We're doing another Disney video. Woohoo! Hello everyone, how's it going? I hope you're well. Welcome back to my channel and to another video. Now, I don't know about you guys, but right about now I'm really missing the feeling of walking into a Disney park, heading right down Main Street, USA, seeing that first sacred glimpse of the castle, taking in the atmosphere of Main Street, listening to the music playing, and getting this overwhelming sense that you are home and that you are happy and you are right where you need to be in that moment. And I'm just feeling very nostalgic for that feeling, so I thought, why not reminisce together on my channel and do the Disneyland Paris tag. Disneyland Paris, as you can tell, is one of my favourite parks. I love going there, and it's the park that gives me all of the happy, joyful feelings. And yeah, I thought I would do the tag all about it because why not? I haven't done that yet on my channel. And the first question is, what year did you first go to Disneyland Paris and how old were you? So I was 11 years old. It was in 2008, and if you're familiar with the UK schooling system, I was in year 7. It was a school trip. It was a trip with this Welsh youth organisation that we have here in Wales called the Urdd. They took us on this trip. We went on a bus to Disneyland Paris, so that was a long journey. We went through the Eurotunnel though, which was quite fun. Never done that before, so that was cool getting to go under the channel. And yeah, we didn't just go to Disneyland Paris, we also went for like a couple of hours in actual Paris itself. So we had like a boat trip on the Seine and we drove around a little bit. Yeah, like I said, we didn't have as much time as I would like in Disneyland Paris, and obviously at that age as well. Being an early teenager, I was at that age where I was trying to suppress the fact that I did like Disney. So I was mostly there for the rides at the time, but yeah, we had 2 full days in the parks. That's about it really. First day we got there, obviously we travelled, checked into the hotel, and we went to Buffalo Bill's Wild West show in the evening, and then the next day I think we had a full day in Disneyland Park, and then the day after that I think half a day in the Studios Park, and then we could either stay there or go back to Disneyland Park. But like I said, wasn't really cool at the time to like Disney, so I was mostly there for the roller coasters, which I loved. I am a big adrenaline junkie. I love going on all of the rides, so that was really fun for me. But yeah, that was my first trip to Disneyland Paris. And the next question is, which of the Disney hotels have you stayed at, if any, and what's your favourite? So on that trip, and then I actually went the year after, so that was 2 years in a row, 2008 and 2009, we went to Hotel Cheyenne, and at the time it wasn't rethemed yet. They've rethemed it in recent years to be like Toy Story themed. They're called the Texas Rooms, which are pretty fun. I've also stayed at Hotel Santa Fe, which is next door to Cheyenne. It's the cheapest of the hotels. That's why I chose that one when I went with my friends again in 2016. It wasn't my favourite, but my favourite by far is Newport Bay, which is one of the more expensive of the hotels in Disneyland Paris. It's beautiful. It's like it says in the name, it's themed to like boats and yachts. It's kind of, I guess, like the Yacht and Beach Club in Disney World. It really feels very fancy compared to the other hotels that I was used to. It's right there on Lake Disney. It's quite close to the parks if you feel like walking there, which is what I always do. And it's really beautiful. It's definitely worth the money. Let us in on where the best places to eat within both parks and the Disney Village are. Disneyland Paris isn't exactly the best place ever out of all of the Disney parks to eat food. It's just quick, convenient theme park food. Nothing to write home about, to be quite honest with you, but that's just my opinion. I haven't really gone to a lot of the places that are on offer in Disneyland Paris. I've been to a couple of the restaurants, and I've eaten the same kind of quick service style food in both parks. I've been to Colonel Happy's / Bellanotte. They're the same kind of food. It's exactly the same menu, just different locations. One's in Adventureland. It used to be, it was themed to be like a Society of Explorers and Adventurers, the Explorers Club or something like that, which people love, but then they rethemed it to Colonel Happy from, is it Jungle Book? I can't remember. Don't really know why they did that, but the food there is delicious, and it's quite nice theming. That's all like fairy lights and things outside, which is nice. Bellanotte, like I said, serves the same kind of food. It's in Fantasyland, and every time I walk past it smells so good. They usually have a menu option where you could have the pizza, which is what I always go for, and then some sort of side, which I usually have garlic bread, and then they usually have a dessert, which is usually like a fruit cup, a yogurt, or I think maybe an ice cream. So I like going there. Walt Disney Studios, I haven't really eaten there a lot because I don't really go there that often because it's not my favourite of the parks. I've been to Bistro Chez Remy a couple of times, which is quite nice-ish. The theming in that restaurant is amazing. You feel like you're the same size as the rats in the movie, and it is really cool. You're sat on like corks, and there's umbrellas, like the little umbrellas that you have in drinks, and like the lights are like the little fairy lights, but then they're poked within like colanders and things like that. It's really fun. Not like the best sit-down food that I've had, but in terms of restaurant food that you could have in a park, it's okay, I suppose. I liked it there. And then in Disney Village, definitely Earl of Sandwich. It's just so quick, convenient. The sandwiches are delicious. They're nice and warm. And yeah, there's plenty of seating in there, and it's got a great view of Lake Disney, which I suppose is quite nice. Let's move on to the next question, which is, where is your first port of call when you first head to Disneyland Park? Now, obviously for me, and I think for many people, you walk down Main Street and you head straight to the castle. I always like to just soak in the atmosphere, take pictures down Main Street, and then take pictures of the castle and be like, I'm finally home! And then I usually walk through the castle then to go to Fantasyland, because you can walk through the castle in Disneyland Paris, and yeah, it's really cool. Sometimes I'll go upstairs because they've got the stained glass windows telling the story of Aurora, or I'll go downstairs because that's where the dragon is, because yes, Disneyland Paris has a dragon underneath the castle, which is amazing. Do you have a favourite land? If so, why? I love Adventureland. I don't know what it is about Adventureland. I guess because there's so many different parts of Adventureland with different theming. So obviously, this depending on what area you come from, but the main area from Main Street, you walk in and it first kind of looks like Agrabah, and then it goes to sort of like a jungly area, or like Africa. There's also an area that's the Cabin de Robinsons in the treehouse, and then they have the Pirates area, which has Skull Rock and the Jolly Roger and the Pirates of the Caribbean area, and it's just beautiful. It's amazing. Skull Rock is probably one of my most photographed areas other than the castle. It's just really pretty at night as well, with all the lights and everything. I love it. It's an amazing area. I just think it's just so well themed, and there's a lot of really cool hidden details. Like there's like an area like to the left of Adventureland when you first walk in. There's Car the snake, there's Zazu as well, hidden in the trees and everything, which is quite fun. And then on the little water area, if you climb up the treehouse at the top somewhere, there's like a little viewing deck. And if you look very closely inside the water area on one of the like pontoons, it's Carl and Russell, which is quite fun from up. Yeah, I love Adventureland. I can stay there for hours just wandering around and exploring. So yeah, love that. The next question is, which ride could you ride over and over and never tire of? Like I said, when I was a teenager, when I first went to Disneyland Paris, I rode a lot of the rides over and over again. One of those was Space Mountain Mission 2, which I love that. It's a really fun roller coaster. It's obviously in the dark, goes upside down, has lots of loops, twists, turns, big drops, and I liked the theming in there at the time. It was really fun. Right now it's Hyperspace Mountain. It's Star Wars themed, which is still really cool because I love Star Wars and I love how they rethemed it. So that one I could ride all the time if I could. But other than that, I love Big Thunder Mountain. It's just so much fun. And I love that the one in Disneyland Paris goes underwater because it's actually on a separate island. Usually Big Thunder Mountains aren't on a separate island, but ours is. It's amazing. It's definitely the best in my opinion and a lot of people's opinions. Big Thunder Mountain throughout parks. Usually the wait times are very long for that one in Paris, or it breaks down sometimes and it's closed because of that or the weather. So I can't always go on it, so usually I can only really go on it like once a trip. Disneyland Park or Walt Disney Studios Park is the next question. I mean, is that even an option? No. You have to go to Disneyland Park. If you only have a choice of going to one or the other, you have to go to the one with the castle, the one with the best rides, the one that's not a hot mess. I've never really enjoyed the Studios Park. It just feels like such a weird space because it's just a mishmash of random things. Like the Ratatouille area is really cool. The Toy Story area is quite cool too. there's lots of things mishmashed together. Tower of Terror is like right there, there's random buildings everywhere, and then if you turn a corner there's Crush's Coaster, but then across the way is cars randomly. It's just it's so random. I can't wait for them to do the overhaul whenever that will be. They're gonna build the Avengers campus, they will eventually build Star Wars. It's gonna be like a smaller version of Galaxy's Edge, I think. Well, I haven't mentioned it in a while, so I don't know if they've scrapped that idea completely. But we're also getting Arendelle and a huge new walkway area and like water and everything. So I'm hoping it's going to look really pretty at some point in the future. But right now it's just not even worth going to. It's a half a day park is what it is. So Disneyland Park always wins that battle out of both of those. Tell us your favourite character meeting ever at Disneyland Paris. That's hard. The ones that stand out in my mind, I suppose, are either when I went in 2016 with my friends. It was in the summer, so a lot of the characters were out at the time because the weather was nice. At the time, the riverboat in Frontierland was being refurbished, so in the queue line area, Tiana and Naveen were meeting, and they were just so much fun. They were the first prince and princess that I'd ever met in any of the parks. I'd mostly, at the time, met mostly their characters. And they just made it so much fun. It was like a really great interaction. Sometimes characters can be a bit weird about grown adults coming to meet them and they can't really be bothered to make an interaction for you, but these guys really did. Around the time that we went, it was one of my friend's birthdays coming up soon, so she wore a birthday badge and they were talking about birthday cake and everything with us, and Naveen was like, what kind of cake would you have? Maybe mushroom cake, because obviously in the movie he dices the mushrooms for Tiana, and we were like, no, that's gross, why not carrot cake? And he was like, oh, that's a good idea. So that was a really fun time, and pictures are really great. I'll put them up somewhere if I can. I loved it. It was so much fun, and it just was probably the highlight of that holiday. And then another time, me and my friend went back in December. It was freezing cold, so not a lot of the characters were meeting, but we met Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale are one of my favourite characters to meet because they're always so much fun. They were meeting on Main Street, to the right of Main Street, sort of near Victoria's. Actually, no, they were meeting by the gazebo in right at the start of Main Street. And yeah, it was so much fun. They were really cheeky. We were talking to them about acorns and Christmas and if they were excited for Christmas and everything like that. And then for some reason Chip decided that he wanted to run away with me, so he took me away from the queue and we were walking off together, and that started the love affair that I have with Chip in Disneyland Paris, because I went back again and we were dancing because I was wearing mini ears that were like Beauty and the Beast themed, so he was dancing with me like he was the Beast, and then again he wanted to run away with me, so I love that interaction too. That will always hold a very special place in my heart too. So those two are definitely ones that I cherish. What is a parade or show from any year that I think is most memorable to you? I've only ever seen the more recent parades and fireworks and shows and things like that. The parade that I like the most, I don't really like the one they currently have. I liked Magic on Parade. That was fun. I loved that one. It just made me very happy. It was the one that I watched the most on YouTube in people's vlogs before I eventually went in 2016. The fireworks that I hold most dear to my heart are Disney Dreams. They just, I miss it so much. I wish they would bring them back because I really don't like Illuminations either. Those two things that came out of the 25th anniversary, not the best. But I really love Starlit Princess Waltz for the 25th anniversary. They brought that to the castle stage. It's so fun. It's amazing. I just love it so much. It's all of the princesses. Basically the theme is like a masquerade. They have masks. There's like two people hosting the show. One of them speaks French, the other one speaks English, and they're sort of like interacting with each other and the princesses. They have these fans that they're supposed to give to each princess. He keeps getting it wrong and gives the princess the wrong fan. So then they swap and then they do a dance. There's also a moment where all the princes come, and then Aurora's looking for Prince Philip because he's not arrived yet, and then he comes on this like spinning platform thing, and then they are reunited and they do this really lovely spin, and then they all dance together. There's fountains going off everywhere. It's beautiful and it makes me very happy. That's definitely one of my favourite shows that they've ever brought to Disneyland Paris. I was very sad when they got rid of it. They did bring it back for Christmas one year, which was, it was great to see that again. Okay, the next question is, you can only ride one, Mad Hatter's Teacups or Dumbo the Flying Elephant. Which one would you choose? Every time I've been to Disneyland Paris, Dumbo the Flying Elephant has had a ridiculous amount of people in the queue, and it's just been really difficult to get on. So the only time I've ever been on it was in 2017 with my friend and her little sister. It was fun, I liked it. The one that I've been on the most often is Mad Hatter's Teacups. I like it because, you know, you could spin it really fast, you can go slow if you want to, it's pretty in there, I like it. And Dumbo the Elephant usually has a really long wait time, so that's the one I'll go for, Mad Hatter's Teacups. The next question is, what do you think is the best attraction in the Walt Disney Studios park? Does the exit turnstile count? I'm joking. Ratatouille is really good. I love Ratatouille. Obviously they're about to bring it to Disney World, which is very exciting. It's just unlike anything that I've experienced before in a Disney park. Obviously they've had the trackless system in, is it Hong Kong with the Mystic Manor, which is really fun. You don't really know what direction you're going in. I love the 3D, 4D element of it, the smells that get pumped at you, and the heat that they have in some of the areas, the cold they have in some of the areas. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You really feel like you are part of that scene and that you are the size of a mouse or a rat or whatever. It's a lot of fun, I like it a lot. Another one is the Crush's Coaster ride. It's so random. You're basically sat in a shell, like a turtle shell, and it's like a dark roller coaster, sort of. At one point you ride the EAC, there's characters. It's just so random. I actually have no idea what's going on half of the time, but I think that's part of the fun of it because it is so random and so fun, and fast. Yeah, I like that one too. So those ones, but they usually have ridiculous queues, so they are quite hard to go on. So those two are really fun. I like those two. And then the final question is, describe your happiest Disneyland Paris memory of all time. My trip that I went on with my best friends from school in 2016 was probably my favourite trip that I've ever done. But yeah, it was just a really fun time that we had. It was the summer, so lots of warm weather. We'd got a little bit delirious sometimes, especially if we'd been there all day. And there was one time where we stayed to watch the fireworks. It was quite late at night because the park obviously was closing quite late because it was summer. And we were really delirious, we were tired, we were just having a really fun time. We were like making jokes, waiting for dreams to come, and yeah, I just remember being really happy in that moment. And then I think, was it that night or another night, we stayed until the park closed and took pictures on Main Street while it was empty. And I'll put it up somewhere. There's a picture of us like lying on the ground with the castle behind us. I remember it took us so long to take that picture, and we had like someone's phone set up, and I'd run over and like get ready to put it on a timer and then run back, get in position as soon as I could to take the pictures. And I just remember that moment was so much fun, and I just remember being really happy in those moments because I was in Disneyland Paris, I was with my favourite people, and yeah, it was just a very happy, memorable time. So definitely those really delirious times in the middle of the night in Main Street, having a great time, just being happy and excited to be in Disneyland Paris. So yeah, that is all of the questions and all I have for you today. So thank you very much for watching. If you like Disneyland Paris, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this again in the future, let me know. And yeah, if you want to be friends, subscribe to my channel. That would mean a lot to me if you did. And yeah, I will see you next time with another video. Goodbye.